Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for another Thought for the Day. Thought for the Day with a wee bit of a difference this week. This is Wednesday the 8th of June, and if you remember from my last post, the one I did last Friday, you can listen to it again if you wish, still online, but I promised you an outside broadcast from the Pastors' Conference, which I'm currently attending up here in St Andrews. So it's an outside broadcast that's beginning from the inside, if you like. So if you ever wondered or wanted to know what student accommodation looks like, I'm just going to pause this video, turn the camera around, give you a quick view of my accommodation for a couple of nights. This may interest some of you and others may not be so interested, but anyway, this is where students live and study if they're up here attending St Andrews University. So let me pause this just now and I'll start again immediately. So here we are. This is the view from my window. This is the courtyard out into quite a new building just across the way there. It's a lovely evening, so I've left the windows open. I'll just pan around and you'll see it's not exactly en-suite accommodation. It's a bit Spartan, but it's very clean and functional. I've got a little wash-hand basin here, a bookcase obviously, panning round to a single bed, a couple of bedside cabinets, more cupboards up the top for books and other bits and pieces. That's the door to go out, and then there's a open plan wardrobe. There's my clothes, room for plenty more. I'm only here for a couple of nights, so don't need very much. A bit of a notice board, and back round now to the courtyard once again. So it's going to be a slightly different little talk this evening. I'm now heading out to the town of St Andrews, and I'll give you a flavour of what's going on there. Okay, thank you for your attention, and speak to you again soon.
Now, what's this? This is one of the many grandstands for the Open Golf Championship, which is being held in St Andrews next month. As you can see, these are just a few of the very many stands, huge stands, which are all around the course. It's not hard to tell from this one that it's the 150th running of the Open Golf Championship here at the Home of Golf in St Andrews. There's the famous clubhouse, known the world over as the headquarters of golf. And that's the first fairway there, going down past the grandstand. And the sea is just in the background there, and yes, yet another of the grandstands. If I pan around a wee bit, it's the first fairway. This is the 18th fairway, it runs parallel, and if I just lift the camera up a wee bit, you can see in the distance the 18th green, and you can see also just there on the right how close we are to the main street, or one of the main streets in St Andrews. It's a unique place. You can actually walk across the course, you can drive across the course. This is a little path called Granny Clark's Wynd, and you can just go from one end of the course to the other, and the public have right of way as long as they don't be getting hit by a golf ball. This building on the right hand side here, the red sandstone building, used to be halls of residence. We used to have our pastors' conference in there, but that's now very expensive apartments. And again, you can see the actual street, how close the public can get. You don't have to pay an awful lot to get into the course. You can watch from the perimeter there, because that street is open during the golf championship. And that's a few folk just finishing up on the 18th green of the old course at St Andrews. Now, I'll just let this run on a wee bit. Pardon my commentary, don't usually do it like this, but this is what the game's all about. There's another group just finishing up on the 18th hole, just trying to get the little white ball into the hole in the ground, and that's what they will be trying to do next month, and will be getting handsomely paid for it as well. An awful lot of money involved in professional sport nowadays. chap has just lined up his putt there. He's going to have a little go at trying to hole out. You probably can't see it, a few people standing in the way, but there he goes, he's ready, and he's trying to sink the putt. Don't think he quite does it, so he'll just tap it in, and a very gentlemanly end to a pleasurable time. There they are, all shaking hands and saying well done, and walking off together. So a nice gentlemanly way to conclude a game of golf. And that's the flag there, you can see, the white flag put back in the ground and ready for somebody else to come up and play. So there you have it. It's not all about playing. There's an awful lot of organisation involved as well. This is a corner of what is called the Tented Village. This is actually the press tent, and it is huge. Maybe that'll give you some idea of the amount of press people that will be catered for at the championship. And that's just one tent. There are dozens of these, and I'm not exaggerating when I say you could fit quite a large shopping centre into just one corner of the Tented Village. So there's hospitality, there's press, there's merchandise on sale. It is big business. But of course, St Andrews is also a very historical town. This is a monument to the martyrs. St Andrews was very much at the centre of the Protestant Reformation about 500 years ago. And if I take a wee wander up the hill and show you this monument in closer detail, you'll see that there are names inscribed there. Patrick Hamilton is the first name, and he lost his life there. Henry Forrest, George Wishart, Walter Mill, who lost their lives, burnt to death at the stake in the 1500s because of their belief in God and their Protestant faith. So that is actually a marker. It's what all the golfers aim at when they're on the 18th tee, and I don't think very many of them know just how important and what occasion that does render itself for the town. It's in a prominent position. So there you have it. So here we are, back in my little room. I didn't show you before, but there's obviously a little desk for students to work at. And if I pan around just again, I also would like to remind or show you, here's the bedside cabinet, and look at that. No Gideon's Bible at all. What a shame. Anyway, back here you can see it's the evening. We've just had a session in the conference room, all about the Psalms, the lament and the praise in the Psalms. And I'm now just going to bring you up to date with, some of the thoughts, in case you wondered what this video was about, some of the thoughts regarding this particular setup. Thank you. So let me tie all these bits and pieces together now. And I don't want you to think, by the way, I'm here on a wee jolly and I'm going out spending time looking at the course or looking around the town all the time. No, there's a serious point to what I'm trying to say here. Sport nowadays has become a religion. There's no other way to describe it. It inspires a passion in people and a following in people that I wish we as Christians had. Now, by that, all I mean is I wish we as Christians were as passionate about what we do and about church and about God, as passionate and as knowledgeable about what we believe in, as much as those who are passionate and knowledgeable about their sport. That golf championship that's being held next month in St Andrews, I'm not knocking that. I'm not against anybody going to any sporting occasion. I like to follow sport, and in fact I'll be one of those people at the Open Championship next month, albeit for one day. But friends, if I can give you some sort of an idea of the magnitude of the popularity of this particular golf event, you have to apply for tickets. You can't turn up on the day and just
expect to pay at the gate and get in. So you have to apply online beforehand. Now, when I say beforehand, to get a ticket, 1 day's ticket for this golf championship, I had to register my name and apply nearly a year ago. And there were 3 million applications for tickets. And they're expecting about 250,000 people, 250,000 people, will descend on St Andrews for a week in July to see a lot of men trying to put a little white ball, no more than 2 inches across, into a hole in the ground that is only 4¼ inches in diameter. So I'm not knocking that. There's an awful lot of money involved. There's an awful lot of effort put into this great sporting spectacle. So I'm not knocking that. I just think we as Christians could learn something from the passion that people have for their particular sport, whether it's golf or football or fishing or whatever. Some of you will already know I had a spell as chaplain of East Stirlingshire Football Club. I thoroughly enjoyed my time getting along well with all who were at the club, the players as well as those who were in charge and on the board, etc., etc. Thoroughly enjoyed my time there, and it never ceased to amaze me that people on an icy, cold, snowy, wet February, Saturday in February, would drive from Larbert or take the train from Larbert to Elgin just to watch their team play for an hour and a half, and then usually come home disappointed because they lost. But friends, if people will do that because of their love of football, why do we have difficulty in getting people to come to church when we profess to love God? I sometimes wish, as Christians, some of us had the passion and the fervour and the knowledge as well that these people show regarding sporting events and what they're interested in. I say that if we had that, we would be able to do a lot more, and we would have more influence. We would certainly worship and praise the Lord more. We would get closer to him as we find out more about him, as we improve our knowledge and increase our service for him. What a difference that would make. So I'll leave it there. That's perhaps the end of quite a different little thought for the day, but I'll just leave this particular thought with you. When all's said and done, is our passion for the Lord and our faith, does it equal the passion that others have for their interests in sport and hobbies? Because our passion should far exceed anything the world has on offer. I leave that thought with you, and I'll get back to my conference. So until I speak to you again, it's another bye for now.